so, or it's just me? Yeah, once more.
Sure. Still here.
Okay, please call me out the dice. What you see? Yeah, once more.
I see 6-3. Sure. And ace-4 is gonna play. I can hear myself, I think. Echo on your side. I see 5 ace for white, 5 ace.
Back. Close game. Well, I heard myself for a second there. Okay. Cool. So I'm live right now. All right. Well, hi, everybody. Looks like we're in a pretty even race. Well, before this double hit, and a nice racing roll here, but with those 5 checkers back, kind of an interesting asymmetry in the mutual holding game here. And of course, Orange has a little stronger board. Hey, thanks, Eric. How you doing? So it doesn't seem like we're going to be coming up on a cube anytime soon with plenty of progress for white to need to make here. Yeah, we've got David Wells on bottom now. I think if you guys are joining in from the Mochi stream, we had the players swapped, so now we're watching with Kazuki on top and bottom. Interesting game so far and pretty tight matchup. And it seems like the big problem for white in this game is some development, having some threat in case blots get hit, closing out some places in that board. That liability on the ace for orange, he needs to maintain mobility with those 5 checkers back. There's plenty of chances, even though he's not very primed here, to roll awkward rolls where he can't move those checkers if something goes wrong or he ends up on the bar. So probably white has a decent advantage in this game. 6 is going to help that, of course. 2 in the air. I presume we're playing with Jacoby rule on good gammon here too. So he's going to be too good nearly. I mean, this looks like a pretty easy cash. We'll move on to the next game. I could be wrong if he has 5 checkers to play around and Kazuki sees some life in this, but yeah, I think there's a few too many gammons there. Yeah, Mochi, I see we have David Wells on bottom on this one and Kazuki on top. Man, they're still playing lightning fast. I'm impressed by that. Ooh, an awkward double 6s when he's primed here. I guess Orange has to consider the cube since he's about to close a 6 prime or hit another and send it behind. Gut feel playing at their speed is that there must still be a take here with 2 checkers behind, a lot of priming structure on the ace 2, but obviously Orange, Kazuki has way better timing, and yeah, Wells just drops it like a rock. Okay. And we move on to the next game, and we're nearly even in score. 34-35, so Kazuki with 1 point ahead. What do we have? Is anyone else on there hearing a big echo on the stream too? I got a comment from someone that maybe there's echo on my voice here. Still trying to figure out the audio on this. Double fives appear to play for Kazuki just fine. They're gonna get him ahead in the race here. Wells has given up his 8 points somehow. Thanks, Justin. Cool. My voice is soothing. I think it was Ralph's here in an echo somehow. Not sure what's going on his side, but having technical difficulties. That's a bummer for him. Threes. Oh yeah, this double switching play looks interesting. I'm not sure about with no cube in play and so many checkers back. It looks like a little too much. I'd be inclined to play something more structural and try to get that cube over. But what else do we have? I guess you could get the checker on the ace moving. You bring more into the zone from the 13. Lots of options here that, man, not clear to me. 2 in the air against a 4-point board is going to play out pretty nicely in most cases too. You don't risk any immediate anchor that's going to give orange play. So tricky play. I like it though. Looks pretty good. With the fan, we must be seeing a cube coming here. And yeah, I don't know how you can take. All right, another quick point. This is nice. This plays like a good fast chouette where they're just kind of getting things done, getting through a lot of volume of games here, and still playing top notch. It sounds like from the analysis so far. 4-3. Oh, he's looking at cleaning up versus another one down. Yeah, that is a lot of fly shots in the outfield here. Ace 4. Yeah, we can make the bar point and leave a 6 to escape. That seems a little rich. Especially when that's a blocking point already. And with white ahead, he'd love to block there, escaping 6s, I think. And he has an advanced anchor, so yeah, you're supposed to think pretty hard about splitting here. Let's reach for the back checkers right away. I kind of like sitting on the bar a little better here too. I like the look of that. Distracts from making the 5. Gives a lot of good follow-up when he is able to make the 5. Okay. Kazuki has an anchor as well now, so it should be a while before any cubes happen, but clear advantage for white. Looks like we might have dropped the stream there for a second. I think we're back though. Hi everybody, Nick Blasier here, if I didn't introduce myself already. And we're catching up with Kazuki playing on top, David Wells on the bottom, tied at 35s now. Two one for white. He's gonna block the 6s with this racing lead instead of filling in that gap on the 4. That looks interesting. Fair enough. 4-2 is going to fill in that gap. Very nice. And with, what is it, 17, going to be 9 pip lead now. This looks like it's probably getting to be a cube for David now. I mean, still should be a pretty easy take for a while. He's got his 3-point anchor and plenty of play. Hello? You there, Mate? Do I still have you there, Mate? Awesome. I think we're back. If you guys feel like confirming for me in the chat, thanks. We've been swapping the audio in and out here. Oh, wow, this is quite the turnaround. I missed how this happened exactly, but Kazuki holding the 2 cube now has hit a shot from the 3-point anchor, closed 2 checkers out and playing on for the gammon. Playing on too good. Okay. Big turn of events here. Thanks, Eric. Two checkers off. We're just going to cash the 2. Okay, so Wells saves the gammon. It's the best he could do at that position. See what happens in the next game. 6 is not a bad roll. Both players have 1 checker back. Interesting, 16 pip lead. You want to cube this, but he has just as much work to kind of escape that back checker as White does, really. So it seems like a lot of play in this. Maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't have thought to send the cube that early there with only the ace made, but lots of checkers in the zone. I could be wrong about that. Here we go, double 5s. Can't escape the checker and just play the race, but it's going to improve his board a whole bunch, put more pressure on. And now with the structural advantages here on Wells's side, I mean, he's especially holding the cube. He's in a really great spot. Kazuki still has the race, of course. So if he can just escape to that, he'll be very happy. But great chances for Wells here too. Yeah, covers from the 11. That looks reasonable. 6s. I guess we're going to come out and leave a triple shot probably. Unless we're just going to play it all on the other side. But I mean, our hope is to escape. I don't know if it really helps to come out to the bar. But that would be my inclination. And he stays back and just counts on rolling a 6 next time instead of leaving the shot. Massive racing lead still, but it's getting dire for Kazuki now. He's got to get lucky enough to escape before his board breaks down completely and he starts wasting pips there, and Wells can just hit loose to contain that last checker. It's gotten sketchy quick. Yeah, this 5-4 isn't perfect. He's got to leave some fly shots no matter what, I suppose. He likes to keep that 10 because it builds on the 4 pretty well. And yeah, all these options look awkward. So I think something has to go. And he hates giving up the midpoint. Yeah, this seems... I might be inclined to play on the 9, like leave a bunch of fly shots in the outfield. You're losing the race anyway, and put a builder on the 5. It looks a little better to me. So 13, 9, 10, 5. But I do think the 10 is probably the point to give up. Hitting loose is an option too. I'm not sure why I didn't look at that sooner. Why not take away any immediate escaping rolls? You're a little bit outboarded, but might have been worth it there. The 6 to ace looks pretty strong in these positions. Hard to see right away. But okay, so Kazuki's going to get away with that early cube perhaps here. Looks like he's heading towards an easy racing win. Some freak gammons out there, but it's going to be tough to win with an open 4 and 5 point. Yeah, we're likely sailing home to an easy racing win. And that would put Kazuki up 4 points now, small lead there. I am excited to see how long it takes either of these players to realize any real lead. I've heard so far that Kazuki's playing a little bit better PR across 30 games. Maybe that's some indication of playing skill, but a lot of variance in PR across what I'd call a small sample there too. So plenty of luck in who gets the easier games there too. So it's going to take a long time to really see who's favored in this and when it starts to show up in the score. Cool format though. It's something that we talk about plenty, I think, but how big the edge is between strong players and things like that. And finally, we'll have a little bit of evidence to see there. Yeah, clear the 10 completely on that 5-4, huh? So like leave no shots in the outfield, we're thinking. I was thinking maybe hitting on the ace would be worth it. Okay. What do we have going on in this game? So Wells has half escaped a checker and has gotten another checker back on Kazuki's side, but Kazuki has the better structure here. So a little bit for everyone in this game. 5 is going to anchor up and keep him in the game for a long time. And it's going to be tough to avoid leaving a shot somewhere. I guess he doesn't want to be under the gun, but I'm not sure why Wells wants to expose another checker here. I suppose. I mean, Kazuki's going to be happy to hit that, so it seems better to just step up to the 21. Yeah, both very strong players, Eric. I wouldn't want to have to play either of them in the long run, that's for sure. 5-2. Gosh, this looks like a chicken play to me. Like I'm just probably stacking up the 8, but he's gonna. Well, no, that's right. You have a ton of builders on the other side. Love to take away half the roll, even though this is coming with the racing lead. It seems like Wells has to take, of course. But some threats here, Okay. And Wells, after taking, is got quite a bit of life here. Very happy to be open holding the cube. And it seems like when Mochi was commentating on this, maybe Kazuki had missed a cube kind of early on. Now it seems like most of them that I've seen have been on the early side, if anything. Not that they're clearly wrong or anything like that, but it doesn't feel like he's behind on the cube by any means. Feels on the aggressive side, if anything. But again, could just be the games that I saw. Awkward 4-1. You don't want to take the checker off the 22. You need maximum contact with this much better of a board. So it might be tempting to a lot of people to make that 21, but staying further back is important. So once you decide that, what do you do? I think you want to keep the midpoint here. Why not? Yeah, I like this play where you just move the most mobile checker there out to the 16. That's going to be where you play from next roll 2. And then keep your structure otherwise, really restrict his movement. 4-1, and now Wells is stuck burying some checkers already. Okay. Wow, it's tough to do. I guess, 4-point boards for real, though, so what else is there? And Wells is just going to gingerly try to walk home here. What is he? Yeah, I don't think he's going to volunteer at any point if he doesn't have to until the last moment when he has to, even though Kazuki's going to keep improving. Well, 5s doesn't really improve too much, but hasn't crunched yet. 6-1 makes the 5. Yeah, that's probably worth leaving a shot on. 6-5 is going to run that back contact. Yeah, okay. So he's chosen his game as the midpoint, but now as soon as Wells can clear that, he's probably going to have a strong cube here with a big racing lead. And maybe too much. Yeah, I think it's too much for Kazuki to take the recube here. 18 pips and just not a ton of contact. I guess there's the 2 buried on the. Oh, and he takes it. Okay, that could be. A lot of mitigating features that position, but it looks like 4 pips away is generally not enough contact with that bar point anchor. And there's a big racing lead, so it's just going to be a race more often than not. That is going to be difficult for Kazuki to win. But he does have opportunities to make plays like this and keep maximum contact, I suppose. So he's got a little extra vig on some awkward aces. Yeah, and why not play fully for the race on Wells' side here? Feeling that 4 looks strong. Enough aces and this could work out. 6 just forces him to go, and Wells has had to waste a bunch of pips here, evening out the race a little bit, so there's some life. I don't think we've seen, someone had asked what the biggest cube we saw was. I think it was 4 so far. I don't think we've seen an 8 cube quite yet. There we go. Score is evened out again. 1-6. What are we doing with this? Fun opening rolls. Oh yeah, there's some interesting duplication there. He's 6 hits back. So White's got 3 checkers stacked on the 24. Needs to fix that very quickly, especially against that quickly improving board on Kazuki's side. Goes for the hit. Interesting. I kind of like the making the 5 point looks pretty good there. Already got 3 checkers back. Kazuki's quickly filling in points in front of those 4 checkers back. But a lot of life in this game for Wells here too. Obviously not a timed back game. He's probably gonna have to run off something sooner than later. But it could kind of go both ways. Or 2, okay. It's in pure and 4 checkers back. This is I think Kazuki's got to be thinking about the cube most rolls here. This is just very structurally sound. A lot of gammons at risk for Wells here, but I guess he thinks he has enough life. I wouldn't be certain of that. Those 4 checkers back and no midpoint is very disconnected, so tough position for him to win. 6-4, I presume we have to go hit in the outfield. I don't think we can sit back anymore. If he gets away with this, he could be in a lot better position. Yeah, you got a fan out of it somehow? Okay. That's fortunate. Continuing the attack here. Okay. That could be the idea, but I'm really reaching for those back checkers quick in this position. Now we appear to have a 4-point board with 2 in the air. It's getting strong. Okay. Entry helps. Oh, aces. We're going to have another one of these fun impure switching plays. We have 4 checkers back now. Okay. What a weird position this is. On the 2-1 hits. Okay. This. And we're right back to Kazuki in the driver's seat. Okay. We'll let David have some fun for a little while with this position anyway. And now he's just going to sit on that robust structure again. Yeah, interesting or impressive how even this has been so far. 5-6 is good. Okay, he's going to keep attacking with 5 checkers back. What else are you going to do? Blot spit around. 6 is not the best roll for Kazuki, but it's going to work. It's going to put a checker in the air. There's going to be plenty of returns for David here. 5-6, and it doesn't do any too much. Fills in the board a little bit. Ooh, that's a good shot. It's going to restrict movement a little more. Yeah, that's probably the better point to fill. Don't let that extra spare on the 23 get moving. I feel like you really don't. I'm not sure why you want the. I guess you create a point that's blocked by the 2 anchors that may be difficult to clear later, but I think the priming value is probably worth a little more here. Who knows? course, if it's not clear, both these players much better than me. So I'm just offering how I would think about all these positions. I don't have XG open either to look at what the bot has to say about it, but we'll should get a chance to look at that. Plenty of people I know. Justin's in the chat, keeping an eye, recording the matches and running them afterwards. So it'll be interesting to see how they both played through all this. And they're both playing at lightning speed, like we were talking about earlier too. So I assume some mistakes will get made. Ooh, 6-4. That's going to leave some shots. Okay. And this is not the perfect 5-point board for Wells, but it can work. This looks like the kind of position where he's going to want to slot the 6 when he gets a chance. And if he can get away with it, then he's going to have a pretty simple cash from there if he's not hit. Since he has so much progress to make up on the other side, I would be thinking about it here, actually. I'm not sure why he's not going for it. I guess he still risks a lot of gammons, not so much with the open 20. Maybe he's thinking about it now, but I think that if he can slot the 6 there and not be hit, that he's got a pretty easy cash. So I would have been thinking to go for it, but maybe I'm playing too big there. 6-4. Oh, I hate to bury a checker here. I guess he's just not really thinking about saving a gammon before winning or something like that, but there's still a lot of life in this. So Kazuki back in the driver's seat. Doesn't look to be a favorite to win a gammon here, but he's going to have a hard time losing now too. All right. Yeah, early game when you have 3 checkers on that 24, you really want to get them off. I'm making the ace with 3 checkers on the 24. Could be right tactically, but it's a tough play to make. All right. Wow. The hit 2 instead of make the 5. Okay. Some interesting plays going on here. And Kazuki's going to get a cube off too. Okay. Those impure checkers on the ace and the 3 back. He's escaped with an anchor. Looks like a pretty solid advantage, even though it's I like that term, the pointless double there with no real offensive improvement yet. Tough to find situations where you can get a cube in there. Yeah, what are the 2s going to do? This looks like too many points, so it's going to make this follow-up play here pretty tough now that the bar anchor's made. I presume he's going to do that. I guess he can improve his board too, but that looks pretty strong to advance your anchor off the 23. I don't think he has such a timing deficit that he needs to sit back. Yeah, this is great contact. I guess you can be attacked on the 23 too, but I don't know. I like that advanced anchor. And this is the problem with those 2s is that you always have to break something here. Okay, fly shot gets hit right away, of course. Let's see. 3-6. Must just come out. Hope for the best. He's going to enter. Oh, yeah, he's looking at the hit. There's reasonable. Just gives up too much back there. Okay. Oh, wow. 3s are awkward here. I guess that switch is the best he's got. Okay. Yeah, and with that 4-point board against, you don't mind too much being hit off the 22 here, so I like that play by Kazuki. Well, he's ahead in the race, so there's some reason not to think about not doing that. Wells is going to go with the safe play. The scary hitting, but I don't know how you follow this up. I think you might have your your best shot at this just hitting and trying to run for it now. I'm sorry, 6-4 doesn't hit. Okay. So, well, it could hit on the 2, but I think this seems reasonable. And small racing lead for, what is it? No, it's pretty even. A little bit of wastage on Wells's side. This is a strange game. What is 6-5 gonna do? I feel like White's been stuck in a lot of these just awkward trying to bring home a really impure structure kind of games like this. And somehow Kazuki's ended up with position in just about all of them that I've seen so far. 6-1's going to improve a little bit. Okay, 5s is going to come around nicely. And now we're in a pretty normal game. Kazuki just has a racing lead against a 3-point anchor waiting for that shot. And Wells is struggling with the timing to maintain a board to wait for that shot. Well, first fly shot. Not having a spare on the 4 looks weird there, but what else are you going to do other than bring the checkers in? Yeah, 6-3 plays pretty awkward. Okay. Wells can just run off like this. There we go. Yeah, which do you clear here? This must be long-term better. I always look to that even odd checkers left kind of rule of thumb too, and so we don't get a whole roll closer by taking the checker off here, so kind of inclined towards that clearing the 5 play. Looks a little safer long-term. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, Justin, in this game. It feels like Wells is finding his way into a lot of awkward games here. But he had a lot of life in that one, so just a small lead for Kazuki here too. Had 43-39 in the score. Do we have that? Yeah, I think we're still updating on there. Okay. And here we go in the traditional opening setup where Wells ends up with no new points and a racing lead, and Kazuki's got the structure, right? This one he doesn't have the racing lead though, so it's harder to take. I guess with 2 checkers back on the ace point, I'm not sure how you can pass it this early, but this is unpleasant for Wells. It really has just nothing going other than that Kazuki hasn't moved his back checkers yet, but that's not even really a liability given that he has no development. He'll just be leaving shots in front of that a lot of the time. 6-2, okay, so yeah, he's already got a slot against a better board. But now that he's gotten away with it, he can possibly develop a little bit. Or he'll make his deuce point. What else are you going to do, though? 5s. Sure would be nice to hit with that slot, but yeah, this just kind of does nothing. I guess the ace point probably is your best there. Focus on the attack. Yeah, okay, the 5-2, when it doesn't cover the slotted 5, usually makes the 3 like that. 6-5 looks to run, because he's in a winning race still. Yeah, why not? Oh, he's going to go for the gammonish play? Okay, yeah, I think usually against a single checker back, you try to consolidate that racing single point win first, and think about the gammons if you get so lucky to go that way. And of course, Wells is just going to work on constructing his board. I guess there's less checkers aimed at that front position there, but usually you sit back and hope that your opponent has to attack you on the weaker point, on the deeper one. I can see tactically why you thought about stepping up there, though. I'm not sure about that play. And the 2, so just entering and shuffling checkers around outside is going to save a lot of gammons here, so Wells is pretty happy to be on the board moving, even if he's not winning a lot of games from here. He could run here and save a lot more gammons, but I guess his contact must win more, and he's gotten rid of so many of the pips outside that it's safe enough. Yep, brings those checkers inside to keep reducing the gammon risk further. You could leave it out there too. This seems fine. Well, we might regret it though. Yeah, and with a fan here, Kazuki could win some weird gammons here. Quite a bit fewer. And he's going to save it. Okay. And what is this? A 6-point lead. Okay. That might be our biggest lead of the match so far. Ooh, early sixes lead. These are fun. So with orange having a better board, there's no cube in sight until we can clear and fix that. And Kazuki wastes no time hitting. He's out of time on his side. Even race. No advance on the anchor. He really needs to split, but how do you even do it into this mountain of 13 checkers? So with that much better board, he's going to go for it, but he's kind of on the ropes here. There's a lot of great rolls for Wells here. Really needs that anchor, and he gets it. Okay, he's still got some timing issues here, though. 6-5. Yeah, I don't think Kazuki needs to, or sorry, Wells needs to leave his anchor. Especially against such a strong board. Okay. 6-4 is going to fill in the 2. Slowly but surely making points behind, and this is just a pretty standard mutual holding game now, except no, just standard all around. I guess orange has plenty of time to be back on the 4-point anchor here, the 21. And with those 2 checkers behind, dead on the deuce and ace, yeah, coming off the anchor makes some sense on Kazuki's side, but unlucky to be hit there, but he can still come in and re-anchor or have a lot of contact here. And this must be strong enough to ship a cube now and just, yeah, maybe not a ton of gammons, but the race is just too rough. Hard to win that game. So easy point for Wells. Yeah, no problem. I mean, we'll see in the match, Steven, about the largest cube. Yeah, I thought I saw just a 4, but we'll see in the match file afterward. I know Justin Knowles got it there. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but what's going on here? We've got the 3-2 split, and we're taking our time on the follow-up. Maybe there's a break asked for or something like that I missed. Oh, they might be talking about. Oh, okay. Maybe that was the last game of the night. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for everyone that was checking that out. I'll get confirmation quickly here, but I did think I heard originally that they planned on playing 3 or 4 hours and kind of just getting a feel for how this is going to go. And I think the plan is to start again at 9 p.m. Central Time in the States, where I'm at. You can look up at the posts. I think Ralph Bird's been sharing information about what that is in all your local times in Japan and UK or wherever you happen to be. But yeah, some more late night action set up for a while, at least the next couple days here. And as we can see from this one, I think I think Kazuki got out to a 5-point lead by the end of the session. So it's going to take a long time for someone likely to get to a full 100-point lead, which is going to be the end marker of this challenge. Side bet on who can get the 100-point lead first. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we'll watch Does anyone in the chat do we know if we know how that match files are going to get shared or anything like that? I'm super interested in receiving it. That a lot of people would like to see that and how they're playing and kind of what the right idea on some of those tougher plays was. I'll definitely look that over before I jump on tomorrow. But yeah, I plan on being back to do more commentary tomorrow. The over on time, huh? Whatever we predict for how long it takes, you're going to bet the over, Eric? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd love to hear if anyone has predictions about how long it takes, like on such a tight skill level comparison like this, how long it takes to realize any sort of equity edge. I don't know. It's nuts. But it's kind of an open question that people have had in this kind of stuff. So it's nice to see people playing this out and maybe getting us some data toward that instead of always just guessing. Let's see here. Yeah, Mochi, I think they're done for the night. They just broke off at 12:05, didn't say anything about taking a break. And I think the plan was to play for 3 or 4 hours. I'm getting confirmation quick from Mate or Ralph, but I'm pretty sure we're done for the evening and probably picking back up tomorrow night. Did the last game end in a 4 cube or something like that? What I see on the stream right now is 45-40, so I think there might be a 5-point lead for Kazuki. Yeah, I'm excited. Do you have any idea where will you be able to share the file somewhere, Justin, or are you just like emailing that out to people? Or it's funny that we don't have a solution for this. Oh, I'm hearing they started playing again. Oh, cool. More action for tonight. Yeah, I still see, so looks like it's 45-40. Mochi was asking where we ended. So 5-point lead for Kazuki so far. Well, this looks like an interesting game. Cube's already on Wells's side with a 60 pip deficit, but he's got the 23-point anchor with the ace made behind it. So not the friendliest structure and an awkward double sixes here for Kazuki to deal with. So lots of life in this game. Yeah, making some points seems like the right idea. The loose hit seems a little weak. And perhaps just running that checker for white is fine, though you'd like to work on your board. You just don't want to be pointed on against a 4-point board. So this looks good too. Okay, Kazuki fills in nicely, and this is going to be a fairly standard 23-point game, reduced point anchor game, with a little work left to fill. I would not have thought to volunteer here, even though it is scary to hit with this 5 since he doesn't have it covered. I'm not sure he can do this. This is going to give up a ton of gammons where it's really hard to lose a gammon otherwise. So maybe that makes it right. But yeah, he does kind of have an opportunity here. I can see it just doesn't seem like that big of an imperative, but I'm with you, Ian. You gotta hound Mate for the prettier board. Okay, I liked Mochi's setup too, but he likes the orange and the white. But that's the guy in control. And he goes with no hit. I think that makes a lot of sense. He's just got to wait out and make his board and wait for a better time to hit. And Kazuki's already had to bury a checker behind on the ace, so good chances here for Wells to get a shot down the road. Missed the chance against the 8. 8's been cleared safely. So now we're back in the waiting game. Oh, 4s, okay. 6-4, there we go. And Wells wastes no time hitting it with only 3 checkers off and not a pure rolls position. I think, yeah, this is going to be a cube and a pass. So nice turnaround for him there. Oh, you think Justin thinks we should switch to the orange and white for nighttime? Okay. Reasonable. I feel like the font's kind of ugly. It really, like everything on Gridgammon looks a little ancient, but like their default setup looks particularly old. I feel like I've seen this structure way too many times early in the game here with that made 5 and 3 for Kazuki. He's just getting nice structural rolls to start games off. And Wells again with the racing lead. Ace is going to fill in. Okay, and he gets to have his 5.1 time. That's nice. Wow. And there's not a whole lot but that awkward play for Wells. 6-4 is okay. Kazuki's got a 5 prime now. Oh, and how did we... Kazuki claims the 5 prime. Okay, so on to the next. I look over at the chat for 1 second and the game's over, and I don't even know how it happened. Okay. 46-42. This is fun. No one really knows how long they're going to play for, huh? We're just going to find out and roll with it. Okay, volunteers the direct 6 to make the 5, and then with the double 5s follow-up, it kind of works, but also gets 2 in the air. So this is a problem. Yeah, I think we're going to have to pass that one on Gammons. It seems reasonable. Okay. Kazuki's stuck with the stacks this time. Yeah, it stinks to have to split into the stacks there, but your opponent has an anchor. That's a tough play to me. 4-5 is gonna hit and continue. Sure. Why not slot now that we're down in the race? Okay. Everything's pretty natural in the opening here. And yeah, no development other than escaping 2 back checkers to the 8 point for Kazuki. So making that 4 point is huge. Clearly has the racing lead. Okay, and he lost his market with those aces most of the time. Well, I guess the anchor could be enough here, but probably not. But yeah, I felt like there should have been a little more consideration in cube the roll before. Making the 4 point, still have a lot of work to do, but you do have some market losers on your really great rolls, and it's just going to be so clear when it happens. Okay, 2 good points. He could cover that slot, I think, so, but he goes for the 4 and the 3 instead. All right. A little bit for everyone in this opening. Wells is down in the race, so I can see why he'd want to stay on the anchor, but staying behind the prime is a little awkward too. Those are tricky plays. Chooses to not give up his anchor quite yet. Seems fine. Wells is still containing. Kazuki's just trying to escape to playing against a 3-point game. And I think he's done it. Not enough racing lead to send a cube though. So we're gonna have a little longer to develop this. Like every roll I'm thinking about in Wells's shoes, just running off that. Yeah, you don't like being primed. That the 22-point anchor is one that you run off a little earlier like this. So I think this seems like a reasonable play. I mean, you are against 10 in the zone, so that's scary. But And you open up something productive to do with the 6-4, so you kind of regret it, but okay, we're gonna hit and have a 5 prime, it looks like. And when Wells gets away with this, probably has a lot of cubes. Oh, what a return that is. Okay. That's going to bring some life back to Kazuki on this one. He's just got to figure out what the best thing to do with his aces is, but hitting 2 seems strong. Want another set. Okay. Well, what do we do with this? I don't know if we need to switch, but what else are we going to do? I like all these kind of non-standard games we're getting into, and I think you have them primed right here. You love to use that checker on the 4, so it's nice to move it to the 2 to hit, but wow, I guess you're losing the priming game, so maybe not. Those can be tricky. I do actually like the hit on second thought. I don't like sitting here and continuing. Yeah, now we're in a clearly losing priming battle in Wells's shoes. Um, so I think this is just a double pass with Jacoby in almost all variations. Yeah. You know, it'd be neat to see these guys play without the Jacoby rule too. It's for most cash games and chouettes and things like that, it makes a lot of sense. But against 2 players of this strength, I don't think they're going to be just missing cubes all over the place and playing onto the for a gammon when they shouldn't. But when it comes up, it's kind of fun to see them have to deal with another decision. So here we go in another racing game for Wells's side. Pretty stiff against nice development for Kazuki. Ooh, 5-1's awkward. I guess he's got a split though. Yeah, that 17 point counts as an anchor, so Kazuki needs an anchor too. Oh, a 7 point lead, biggest so far. Yeah, 49 to 42. A little bit of a heater here for Kazuki. Yeah, it kind of feels like something like this should almost be like it's likely that it'll be defined by a really hot streak that accounts for 100 points or something. Someone along the way is going to get that lucky, but it's hard to imagine, 20 sessions of grinding out whatever it is, 5 point lead at the end of the session each time. Someone just has that edge. But I'm really not sure what to expect. I'm super glad we're getting to see this format. Someone's going to win a backgammon on an 8 cube somewhere, and that's just going to be the result, right? Okay, 6-4 escapes 1 checker past the prime. How we doing here? Wells has got yeah, this is, I think Kazuki's trying to figure out what can I do that it's going to allow me to take a cube here. So after he runs with the 1 back checker, I sure am scared when I'm primed against a lot of checkers in the zone with a racing deficit too. Oh, the cube's gone already. Never mind. 2-1. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of gammon risk here. It's kind of every step of the way. I mean, Suki's saving him by playing checkers into his board, but there's always, 1 step away from white changing to attack. But 6-1's going to be awkward. The risk is dropping with that. Oh, how do we play this? I think white would really like to play safe, but I don't know if there were safe options. 1-4 is not the easiest of hits for Kazuki, but he'll take it, of course. And this is, wow, what happens on a fan or something? A 1-5. Ooh, 1-5 could be worse than a fan. What is this? Now Kazuki has the racing lead and same checker back. I guess he's playing on now, so I think there might have been a cube miss there. Playing a little speedy. Not clear though. It was a pretty good sequence too. 5-4. Okay. I'd be interested to know. I think I heard from someone that they had agreed to play fast or something. I don't know if that's just speculation, but I wonder what the agreement is there too, because they are playing pretty lightning quick. It looks like a money game, which is exciting. Yep. 6 sequence indeed. That's what you expect in backgammon, right? Of course, we're going to get a shot towards the end here, too, with the Phantom Deuce anchor. No hit. Wells could be the favorite to save a gammon here. There's plenty of them up for grabs here, though. Yeah, should be saving it here, but not going to win many games. And so, with Kazuki coasting home to another 1 game here, it looks like we're going to be at almost a 9-point lead. Okay. No agreement on timing. Oh, look at that. And he does win a freak gammon for the 11-point lead. Okay, 6-5 run, 6-3. Okay. Fives is awkward when you're just trying to escape and race, but it's going to work. What is this? This is a 21 pip lead and escaped against 2 back already. Must be a cube. Kazuki says oversight. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so they've played. Ralph Bird is telling us in the chat that they've got a lot of history playing together like this too, at pretty high speed. So that's exciting. I didn't realize that they knew what it was like to play heads up cash with each other so much already. That's very cool. Okay, so Kazuki ends up getting hit. Still has the racing lead. If he can just escape, he's going to have the race to cash in on. Wells has the better containment structure this time around. Ooh, 6s is likely enough. Not a huge racing lead, but when you're behind a 5 prime, I'm not sure how Kazuki can take this. So, sure, play it however you like. On to the next game. Oh, cool. It's fun getting to see. I can see in the grid gammon chat too. Yeah, he calls out the missed cube on Kazuki's side. I think I agree with him there. He mentioned that the Kazuki missed a cube and it cost Wells a point. Yeah, it's funny how the swings go in this game for sure. Yeah, I saw the pictures, Ralph. It looked like there was some really interesting action going on in Australia there. It looked like a lot of fun. Jealous. Trying to settle back up in Austin now after having traveled around and played a lot, but I'd love to make it to Australia and play someday. What do we have going on in this game? Okay, Wells with the racing lead. Kazuki anchored up with some good structure there. A little bit for everyone again. White's trying to get into an established holding game where he just escapes both back checkers. Kazuki wants to keep driving that structural advantage home and containing 2. Yeah, I'm scared of the action there, Ralph. I don't think the water is warm, as you say. No fish in that chouette. All right, and yeah, with the racing lead, Wells is just going to go for a simple play. Kazuki's happy to slot with that blot behind. Why not? 6-3 isn't terribly productive here. Yeah, I don't see him going for something like this hitting, like some blotty hidden cover play, but he's looking at it. It's hard to imagine how the 4 blot play with the racing lead and outboarded still can be right. But he's worried about, I guess, Kazuki getting to improve on his structure on his side. So I just don't think it's that desperate. Interesting play though. Okay, he goes for it. And when you get away with it, can you cube? I guess probably not. So, okay, 6-4 is going to clean up pretty nicely though. And now he's got to have enough with the threat of rolling a 5 and winning a bunch of gammons to send it. And I'm not sure I see when it works. It's just a gammon like way too often. So yeah, pass seems reasonable. Okay. Interesting 4's blitz opening for Kazuki here. Against the made 5 point, it's going to be a while before he can get the Cuban. Okay, he's got the advanced anchor now too, but great shot for Wells, hitting on the ace there. Making a little structure. Yeah, and the last 6, do we want that? Those trick me a lot. I see both these players just making the simple play and coming out and trying to capitalize on that race a lot. Something that I always wonder if I'm risking too much race, but okay. And it works out. Now, clear advantage for Wells. Maybe not enough racing lead to send the cube yet. Not enough market loss. But trying to clear that midpoint and continue to gain in the race without leaving any shots. Awkward structure on Kazuki's side too. He hasn't managed to fill in the 5 yet, so that could hurt the contact in the long run. But yeah, favorite in the long run to roll something like that and cover it. Oh, interesting. Maybe giving up the mid's the best there. Okay. 4-3. So Wells makes a pretty pure racing play, and Kazuki's going to get back in the race and take the lead. Looks like. Why not break contact when you have the lead? Yeah, I think you do that. And it's a boring race. But I guess boring races are maybe our best shot at back and forth cubes and getting that way up there. So can root for that. Yeah, still in clear take territory. Okay, but he's going to seal the deal with some 4s, it looks like. And Kazuki's going to be up 11 points on a little heater at the end of the night here. Excited to see a challenge like this going on too. It's something that's, I guess, happened in online poker a couple times and is always fun to try to follow those things. Fascinating format to me. I don't know. Does anyone else on here watch poker too and keeping up with the Galfond challenge thing going on right now? That's been a exciting roller coaster. If we could get anywhere near that kind of swings in the action, that would be pretty exciting. I do hope for a roller coaster like that. Yeah, you should go check that out then. I think they're maybe some like 30 sessions deep and just over the 20,000 hand of 25,000 mark, but they have 200,000 side bet playing 100, 200 PLO. And Gelfond, the issuer of the challenge, got stuck like over 900 grand and somehow has run it back to a positive and winning now. So yeah, they're at least in the same ballpark of the swings, but that's been cool stuff. I mean, we could see swings like that in a matchup like this pretty easily, I think, too, right? It's funny. I played poker before I played backgammon, and now the swings in poker just seem kind of like child's play comparatively. They're just so brutal in backgammon. Where are we at now? A 12-point lead. That's pretty solid. Easy little short-term run to happen, though. And okay, Wells has got the lead in this one. Likely seeing a cube coming here. I'm not sure why he wants to. This is one where I would not come out to the bar, I'm pretty sure. I don't see why you want to risk the close race right now. Wait for a better shot to run. The cube still seems pretty clear. Suki's almost, I mean, he's got anchor on the 16, but mostly escaped and just kind of constantly threatening to turn this into attack and close Wells out for close Kazuki out for a gammon. Great position for him. I still think, I guess he's primed now, but my feeling is still that Kazuki should work on his board rather than hopping out to the bar and risking the close race that we've got right now. Oh, but we get the 6 prime closed, okay, and now, oh, but somehow, okay. Still valuable to have hit there and some priming value, but Wells comes right in and hops out. And Kazuki would be pretty happy to bring a bunch of checkers in and save a gammon here, which is why I think this switching play must be right. Advance the prime. Oh, cool. I'll be excited to hear what other challenges you have in the works, Ralph. This one's a lot of fun already. I feel like we've been waiting for something like this for a long time in the community and just like hard to organize the time to do it. Maybe this is what we needed. Okay. I don't know if I'm a Rel first Nick challenge. I don't know if I've been studying up and playing enough. I like to play though. As long as you're sponsoring me too and we're just playing. I'll take you up on that. All right, looks like Wells has some small gammon chances here. But Kazuki's a pretty big favorite to save it. Just lose a regular 2 cube. All right, back down to a 10-point deficit. Okay. Breaking the 8 to hit is usually a strange decision early in the game, but okay, he goes for it here. Now Wells is successfully anchored past all that structure. This looks familiar. Makes the bar. So small advantage for white. Oh, that's an interesting little bait there. Well, that's awesome. Lots of people interested in playing right now. Makes sense with everyone at home, kind of out there looking for things to do, and a live tournament stream, kind of on hold for a while. Yeah, so I'm really curious, kind of what format people are looking for, especially. I'd love to see some unique events like this happen more often. Aces are gonna hit and block sixes. Okay. Wells just consolidated a really big advantage here now. Interesting play from Kazuki. I guess he plans on passing regardless or something. So sure, why not split your anchor? More cash players. Okay, that's cool. It's always that like bit of distrust about cash play online, but I'd love to see more of it. It's fascinating in its own way for sure. They both have their perks, tournament play versus cash play like this. But it just feels like all the commentary and content we have out there tends to be on the tournament play and not enough like this of kind of how cash works. So I like it. This is a cool chance to see what a grinding session is like. Interesting decision here. Do we cover the ace with one in the air, go hit another one? I mean, it's tricky. You have to leave the direct six, huh? Yeah, and now we got a lot of blitzing potential. Well, okay. I guess there's enough game to take that, but again, Wells just has like no development. That's a tricky one to me. Losing the race, I mean, kind of down in every aspect of the game. Only thing you have going for you is that it rates to be a long game. When it's not, you're pretty sad with taking, though. Yeah, that's a good point, Ralph. I guess if you can get players that are willing to play at this speed, just play fast, then it's pretty easy to trust them. But of course, there's like, I don't know, webcams and things like that. Lots of things that we could do to make it um, more trustworthy. But yeah, everyone knows each other too. Ooh, sixes. We're gonna have to leave the anchor. This has gotten into a funky holding game here. Um, but again, no development for Wells, so it's not very, I mean, Kazuki can play pretty bold here without too much risk and just try to get the checkers around. I think the worst thing he can do here is just like disconnect to in too much of like a like safe kind of way. Oh yeah, he can make the four, but he can also hit from the 20. I bet he sees that. Not sure which safer. It must be less blots the other way. But this develops the board, so why not? Okay, now we're deciding between priming and attacking. Yeah, the attack seems like the way to go. We've got the anchor. We don't leave the direct shot. I mean, I like this play. Oh, wow. Thanks for that PR update, Justin. That's 3.5 for Wells and a 3 for Kazuki. Okay. Pretty superhuman. I am really interested too to see like I guess, rough. I hear a lot of estimates about, cash PRs versus match PR, and you expect your cash PR to be better. I don't know if you expect to be better in this speed variety that we're going for. Um, but yeah, I guess I am still expecting them to, not having to deal with complicated match scores. It should be pretty close to, closer to perfect than we're used to seeing. So I think we'll have days where they'll be, I wouldn't be surprised to see well under threes in this. Yeah, I'm with you. Amazing PRs considering the level or speed of play. Yeah, I agree, Mate. I mean, Ramesh is just so strong. It'd be nice to see him in a format like this. Wonder if Ralph can get a hold of him. I wonder if he plays the same PR for cash too. Oh, we have a potential recube for Wells already? Yeah, this is a huge racing deficit, but in the air against effectively a 5-point board. And even if it's not covered, some big of picking up another checker with so many dead there. Yeah, it's just, I mean, this is really hard to get home against for Kazuki. So I like the cube for sure. They're talking in the chat. It sounds like Wells thinks he missed a cube playing too quick or something like that. Yeah, it says it was a big mistake. And Kazuki says he would have dropped already. So here comes double. And I mean, I still presume this to be. I like that they're chatting back and forth a little bit. I would love if we could actually hear him talking it out. Maybe Ralph can let us know how they were acting with each other in the Chouette over the last couple months. But I mean, they seem like they've happy to point out thoughts on plays and stuff. I always like that. People get some banter in there and kind of talk about what they think is going on. Especially when the players are both just very strong like this, have respect for each other's game and kind of, you know, sympathize with difficult plays and things like that and small errors. All right. Big racing lead for Wells. A little bit of structure too. Okay. Am I the other way around? This is an interesting holding game. Kazuki with the racing lead now, but not a lot of timing, sitting all the way back on the 22 there. Justin says it's easy to play for rupees, huh? I'm pretty sure if you're playing any sort of cash game, they're just units. If you're thinking of it in the currency that you're playing for, then you're doing something wrong. Oh, very cool. Do you guys have Mate out there in Australia, like helping with the Chouette then? I love the idea of having a live transcribed Chouette, by the way. I mean, I've always would love to see it. It's, I don't know if it's right for the pace of it and everything like that, but I don't know. Just an information person. I want to know how I played and how everyone else played. For learning. I'm in it for the learning. Okay, those fours are going to run away with a small racing lead. Yeah, this looks right, but this game's going to be far from over. Oh, very cool, Ralph. So you recorded and sent out for transcription a Chouette. I like that. Who wins all the prop bets in the Chouette out there? Yeah, this is an interesting one where I guess why not make a safe play covering the 10 coming home, but it's not a point that you want. You'd rather have your builder spread out. So maybe you could play to like the 13 and the 8, or sorry, the 12 and the 8, something like that. Hope to make a better, more valuable point next time, but this play's fine. Okay, it functions as a builder to make the bar anyway. We're getting to something now. With the open 5, I guess maybe not, but this kind of looks like cube territory for Wells already. Once your opponent's about to crack, like this is just, how does Kazuki win this now? Probably lost his market already. Even with the racing lead. I'm hearing David Wells leans a lot of prop bets in the Chouettes. I believe that. Seems to play pretty comfortably and just kind of what he knows, he knows. Super nice guy, though. I don't know if I can't remember if I've played with Kazuki or not, but some of the best people out there, very pleasant to hang out with as well. It's good stuff. Yeah, Chouette with most fish. That sounds like most Chouettes these days. It's hard to find people that don't know how to play anymore. All right. So now 56-50. Okay, Wells is on a little run, reducing that lead that Kazuki had built up. Only down 6 points now, an advantage in this game. Racing lead against one checker back. Probably not quite enough development to send the cube with only 8 pips lead, but we're getting really close. And yeah, something like aces could lose his market right away. Not sure Kazuki can really take unless he can get up to the edge of the prime or something spectacular. So the sixes, I don't even with the racing lead, I don't think that's enough when he's not on the edge. Man, he's got a better board though. I guess you can think about it, but this just seems too hard to hop a 5 prime. I think you got to let this go. Yep. Yeah. What game are we on, Mate? We're on game 60, so we should be yeah around 56 to 56 soon. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'll be fascinated to see how long they stay nearish to a 0 point lead and what the swings are like. I feel like the only results you really hear about in long cash session play like that tends to be um, less evenly matched opponents, right? A lot of people are playing for a long time like that because they think they have a significant edge, and they tend to be realizing that in their sessions. I haven't heard of too many sessions like this going on where it's just really close matchup and any session could go either way for sure, even if someone's consistently playing a little bit better. Um, this is neat. I'm going to learn a lot from it for sure. Okay, yeah, with the fives, Suki just wants to break contact, but of course, Wells has great contact from the 20 there with the 0.6 pips away. Very stiff, but with the racing lead, so if he can just clear those points, he's going to have an easy win. 4-2. Okay. We last safe roll. Yeah, that's a fair point, Mate, too. Maybe eventually just the fatigue will set in. We'll find out who can play their best backgammon for longest. Fly shot. First sly shot missed. Kazuki's going to come in safe, but still at that point, 6 points away. It's going to be very tough to get a cube in. This is just such an easy take for a long time for Wells. Not a lot of market loss here. Okay, well, might just be that market loser actually. I guess it's only 6. Yeah, it might not be enough pips in the race really to lose the market still, but pretty effectively breaks contact. Yeah, of course not if Wells rolls the fours here. We're in a fairly even game now with the wastage on Orange's side. That's a big racing roll. Well, you can see the moves they're making, Mate, so you feel like they're slowing down. All right, fives ought to be enough to get a cube in, right? Or did he follow up that well? Hmm. These are some of the most confusing racing cubes for me, but yeah, okay, drops it. It seemed like intuitive. We're in that 5 roll, it's not even a 5 roll, like 9 checkers, but not in a rolls position. That range gets really, I don't know many formulas that get that right. Kind of have to have some intuition developed. But okay, no big cubes either. It's been a while since we've seen something turn to 4. So, pretty simple games for a bit, but we got Wells on a heater winning a lot of 2 cubes in a row. 1 point in that last game. 4-3. What are we doing here? Small racing lead for Wells in this one. Suki hasn't come off his anchor yet, so he's kind of leading in every way. Fours don't really help him develop all that much, but sure, why not make some kind of like making a priming point? I'm not sure I guess I can see not wanting to give up the mid. Interesting. I'm not sure I see the cube there from Wells. He does have an advanced anchored Kazuki back on the ace, but I mean a lot of play in this position for him. So gets aggressive and whips it though. And okay, Kazuki punishes with back-to-back 6-5s and refusing to be hit on the 8. And now he's got to be a small favorite. Well done. You think they're just warming up with a quick, what, 108 points, 60 games? Okay. I need a long nap after playing this much backgammon. Let's see. And a 4 cube we're going to get in. And enough race that he's just going to cash it. Okay. No 4 cubes for us. But a 6-point lead for us. 5 splits is hit by double fours. That should be tough for white to recover from. Oh, he enters on the ace and hits somehow. Okay. I don't know what the position looked like, but that feels like a missed cube kind of thing. But maybe not, maybe not. Pretty close race. And just structurally, this is just such trash for white that I feel like orange must have a cube here. I guess it's probably still an easy take with no the whole pointless double thing. Maybe not with the 9. This just develops too easy. Man, that's not too often that you see no board points pass. But I guess if it's going to happen, that must happen there. All right. Yeah, covering 2 points is better than the hit there. We come around. Makes the 2 over hitting on the bar because he has no 4 to play with it, I guess. Okay, reasonable. 3-2, what's this going to do? Yeah, you'd like to see the light, I guess. Not clear. There's some tricky plays. Single checker back versus single checker back. We've seen a couple like this. 1-5, he's just going to try to get out of, yeah, I mean, no, okay. Didn't see right away that he could make the 5-point, finds it now. 4-2 is just going to run because he doesn't want to leave a direct shot. Okay. Or he's going to hit loose. That's an interesting alternative. Oh, we're in a tempo battle here, but I didn't see it as such. Interesting. Firing away. Seems... Yeah, not sure I see that outfield point play where he gives up the mid for Kazuki. I'm not sure where he likes that one. This looks strong. I guess he just doesn't want to be under the pressure of that 10 point as a builder. That makes some sense. Ugh. This 4-1 is not great. There's a weird inside switching play. Yeah, that might be all you have. You have to give up the 5-point to make the ace and hit loose. It's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. But okay, he gets a fan out of it. Now he's in great shape. With the racing lead, he's still behind plenty of structure, but likely to make a 4-point board here. Oh, interesting. He's going to think about running instead. I think you got to just make the point, but it's tricky. If he gets away with this, then he might add a cube, but he gets hit. Okay. And now Wells is on the ropes. Hits back, though. Great entry. And Kazuki's back on the ropes. The loose hit is strong. And there were a lot of returns for Wells from the bar there. He's going to clean up the 3. Sure, okay. 2-1 fans, and yeah, with the direct shot to send another one back. 4-point board. 1 back, big racing lead. This looks like a very strong cube and probably too many gammons to play, but those 2 checkers back, I guess, have to be tempting. Just like that, 59-53. Hard to pass up making the 5 here, but hard to pass up hitting too. Yeah, the 4 lets you split though. This seems stronger. Tricky play. When in doubt though, just make your 5 point, right? Silly rule of thumb. Yeah, 4s, there's some nice 4 duplication here too. I like that about it. Okay, Wells just wants to escape and race. Kazuki is trying to contain that 1 checker back. Got great contact all the way back on the 24 too. I'm not sure how long he can stay back there though. 4-2 develops nicely. Is he gonna... I guess he can block the... Yeah, he must have to do this. He really would like to make the 4, but blocking the 6 escape and not leaving a direct shot seems pretty strong too. No, he goes for it. He goes for the pure board play. I like it. It's the best 3-point board. If you get hit and sent back, it doesn't really change too much. This is the short session, you say, Ralph? We're in about 4 hours in, right? How long are they playing tomorrow? Do you know? Or is that still up in the air? Okay, we've got a 5-point anchor Cuban with no mid cleared, but a 36 pip deficit. That's enough, he says. So drops it. Looks too much like a race. Reasonable decision. Ooh. I guess 4 hours could be short, but I don't know, man. Like I'm usually not thinking my sharpest after that long, so I'm curious what the best cash players, how long they can just play for. But like typically when you play cash games, you're playing in a chouette and you're not playing heads up play, and so you have a lot of breaks from the action too. This is just pure sitting over the board, so it was exhausting. I guess I play longer for that at tournaments though, so I don't know. Maybe the exhausting part about chouettes is having to listen to other people play and watch them figure out what to do in all those scenarios. Playing heads up is easier. But okay. Even with that racing lead, he has to drop the single checker back against 4-point board. Too many gammons. Seems reasonable. $100 games today, you think they're going to go for Justin? So we're in about 60% in. Okay. 2/3 of the way there. Another 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. It's a good session. Ooh, early awkward 6s. Yeah, this just does not look good for Kazuki. Wide open against a strong board. He's got to drop that one. They're in a rhythm now. They're playing fast. I'm almost not seeing the board update quick enough to know what happened. Strong early advantage for Kazuki here, but I think Wells is doing enough to stay in it. Oh wow, the split against the prime. Okay, I still just pretty automatically make the 5-point here, but you have to give up the 8-point. You don't get to the edge. I see a lot of reasons for why Wells is thinking about this. I do think if you're going to split here, you almost have to make the 21 split, but interesting play for sure. I kind of liked his first splitting play that he looked at better. Oh, and the 3s would have punished the other split quite a bit. With the fan, though, this game is going to be over. But still, I think, yeah, good play from Wells there. On to the next one. Someone should make a graph for us too. I guess you can probably get that out of XG pretty easy, just to see kind of how we're doing with the lead too. I want to see the swings. Let's see, 5-2. Okay, that's gonna advance to the best anchor, and he's got the better board and a racing lead. Yeah, looks like we got another point on the board pretty quick here. How interesting. Did he just open with a 6-4 run? Oh, that was after the 4-3 down. Got it. Okay. Scary to enter high. You gotta make a blot, kind of whatever you do. I don't see a lot of good opening for Kazuki. He's got blots all over the place, but looking strong. The racing lead, but Wells hits a nice fly shot there. Okay, now we're in a hitting contest. He's going to challenge the strip mid instead of just safetying the blot on the 14. That's an interesting idea. I tend toward that with the racing lead, though. And punished for it. Okay. Some good back and forth jokers in this one. Oh, interesting. See Kazuki in the chat offering a bet on something. I wonder what the play was they wanted to bet on. I think I saw somewhere that Mochi's planning on doing an interview with David Wells tomorrow, maybe too. Be interested to see that. 2 in the air against the best 3-point board. That looks like another point on the board. And what is the score now? Are we at 62-56? Okay, holding on to that 6-point lead. All right. Got kind of a double anchor game here with Kazuki with a small racing lead. It's gonna take a while to clear that though. Oh, cool. Mochi interviewed David Wells before we started the session today, you're saying? I saw the posted Kazuki interview, but I don't think I got to see the interview with David Wells. Oh, sorry, Ralph. When I talk about the chat, I can see the full screen of the grid gammon board that we're watching. And so I'm talking about the grid gammon chat. I can see every now and then Wells and Kazuki are saying little things back and forth to each other. I can see everyone that's spectating on there too. A lot of familiar names over hopping in and watching every now and then. Okay, we got no cube yet. This only ahead 9 pips. Okay, with the contact. Yeah, must be close, I guess. 9 pips still. It's tight. Okay, Wells chooses to send it now. Yeah, that's fine. Watching on the YouTube and not having the grid gammon. Yeah, I'm just seeing it through Mate's screen is what I'm really seeing. But I do have grid gammon that I can hop on if I want. Let's see here. Simple race. Holding the 2 cube. I do think that little endgame races like this are probably our best shot for the biggest cube. Yeah, not much going on in the grid chat for the most part, Mate, I agree. Every now and then, though, I see them say something to each other. Yeah, and if the long session's affecting either their play, I'm not noticing it at all. This is pretty impressive that they're still playing lightning fast 4 hours in and just kind of cruising through this. Comfortable players, and only a 4-point gap now, too. especially impressive for a 25-year-old to have a feel for the game like this, to be able to just kind of fly through cash play without having to stop and ponder plays more often. Okay, so we're in oh no, still one checker back for Wells. Otherwise a fairly established position, but even if Wells can escape his other checker, with Kazuki having those two anchors on the 20 and 21 and a reasonably close race, it's gonna be tough to get a cube in anytime soon here for either side. Not really a back game, more like a double holding game, but there's a lot of long-term equity in this one. Ugh, I hate making that 5 stack, but I guess he doesn't want to break the mid either in case he's hit. So maybe a small lead for Wells here now. Not by much, though. It's hard to bring this home safe. He's 5-4. Ooh, okay. So you still do in these double anchor games have awkward cracking numbers with the two anchors, but always confusing to me on white side in these positions when to send it, because there's just not like a deep back game. There's huge gammon risk, right? And that's part of the threat of sending the cube, but there's going to be a ton of wins. And it's just kind of, these games play a little more like a holding game where there's just going to be winning contact for a long time, but not a lot of gammons lost when it goes wrong. 5-4 might be time to leave one of the anchors. It's got to be better than burying more checkers, and that's kind of how these work, is you can just play this essentially a 4-point anchor game now. 11 pips, yeah. Easy enough take, I suppose, for Kazuki, he thinks, but it's tricky. You have 3 checkers back, and that always leads to more gammons than it seems like. And he doesn't have a perfect structure on his side, even if he does get the hit. That open 5 points, a big liability for the contact value here. And Wells is going to leave a fly shot already. Okay. Kazuki hits right away. And with the fan, this probably still isn't enough yet. It's got some good prime value in front of Kazuki too. That split with the ace is pretty strong. That's going to help a lot. If we get away with this, is this going to be game over? Yeah. Now there's some gammon threat for Kazuki too. If he can escape one checker, that looks like market loss for sure. Maybe Wells has enough to play here though with that open 5. This is a sneaky little position. And he should have fly shots kind of all day like that too, because it's hard for Kazuki to bury checkers anytime soon. Man, these are some tough decisions in this one, but okay. Okay, game just got a lot simpler. And he's threatening to win a gammon on this cube now, on a 4 cube too. That's a really big swing in this kind of format, I think. Did he just leave a shot from the roof for no reason, or what happened there? It looked like the 2-1, like he ripped checkers off when he didn't need to. And he had a shot at his gammon, but missed it, so no 8-point games. Too bad. Always rooting for blood. 4 points will have to do. So 8-point lead for Kazuki now, okay. Having a good session. do we have gearing up here? We have the anchor in front of the made 2 point already. And 4 checkers back. Awkward position for Wells. Not a lot of development on Kazuki's side. Okay. Make a point there. What are these 4s gonna do? Okay. He's gonna try to get some priming value with the made 2. It seems a little strange, but what else he got? I guess he could just do something like make the 5 or the 4. Yeah, seems reasonable. Keeps good sight and control of the whole board. And small racing lead for Kazuki, so he'd love to escape that back checker. I don't think he needs to jump out to the bar. Another one of those decisions with the 1 checker back. Do you come out and try to give yourself the best chances of escaping, or avoid the risk of being hit on the bar and losing ground in a close race? I like that decision. 4-2, yeah, I mean, nothing too productive that Wells is going to be able to do at this roll either. I suppose the race is close enough where you don't, like, he doesn't have a huge contact advantage here, so staying back on the 24 is not clear to me. But he chooses to do so, wants to see more of the board and avoid giving a simple 6-3 to play in a scenario like this. Ooh, 4-1's productive. It makes another strong board point. 5-4. He likes to run, because if he gets away with it, he's consolidated a lot of that race. But yeah, covering looks pretty natural. Interesting decisions in this game. Ooh, 6-1 is awkward. Yeah, you might not cover so easily, so that's would have been tempted to do so. Still a small racing lead, okay. 4 covers, then there's the 3, nowhere. You're gonna leave another shot. And pretty awkward. Plenty of awkward games like this, but I haven't seen, not recalling too many like super crazy turnarounds. I guess they're just playing so fast that maybe I'm not seeing them fast enough. That's probably what's actually going on. 6s is strong. He's got some plenty of race to play with here. Really needs to move one of those checkers off the 18 though. And a 4-1's not going to help him do that. Close race still. What do you roll? 5-2, okay. Yeah, this is a pretty even game. I think neither one wants to leave a shot. Both of them are probably willing to destroy their board to do so. And so it's just a save a 6 decision, I guess. That's interesting, actually. Wells could just leave a lot of shots here with those 2 blots behind, but all aces, 2s, and 3s are going to make a 4-point board. Hitting 5s would too, so maybe, yeah, I guess you probably can't. Just got to play the race like you did. Hope to improve a little bit. Tight game. Aces, okay, we're still figuring that out. On orange side, I got it. I kind of like the reducing contact idea, maybe, that Kazuki was looking at, but tough decision. Okay. 6-4 is going to force Wells off, and sometimes in these end games, if you have the closed board, this can be a cube even with the racing deficit, but I doubt it with the open 6. Interesting. He goes for it anyway, and I imagine regrets it now. Wells is super excited to hold the 2 cube in an even race here that he should escape to often enough, but he doesn't. Okay. He must reduce shots by advancing to the 13, I guess. Yeah, the 5s. Okay. And Kazuki's got a big racing advantage now. On his way to another 2 points and a 10-point lead. Yeah, okay. So Kazuki's made his ace point with those double sixes. Wells has the 5 point in this game for a long time now. Tough game for Kazuki to close out from here. Howdy, Ian. We got Kazuki with a 10-point lead here. I think he got up to a 12 points ahead for a little bit. All right, good response. That's just fine for Wells, too. Wow, and if Kazuki just escapes, no, he doesn't have anything here. Oh, wow. Okay, he's going to send the cube. I guess hits could be pretty bad. Maybe that's what he was thinking there, but... Ooh, what a nightmare aces this is. I didn't see a ton of market loss, though, on that cube. It seems like if he escapes, even with that 60 pip race, that he's got a ton of contact from the mid and the 8. So tough to close this game out. And we end up in that game, even with that super great 4s that didn't turn out well with the aces afterward. And he's got to bring this home somehow. Wells hits his first shot. Still has plenty of race to work with. Ooh, 5s is going to consolidate that quite a bit. And I think it's going to be tough for Kazuki to stay in this game. Triple shot, is that going to be enough to send the cube with this huge racing deficit? Probably. There's not a lot of gammons here, but there are a little bit for Wells too. So I think, there's got to be market loss here. If he misses somehow, what misses? 6s even hits, double 4s hits too. Oh, sorry, it's a 2, 4, 5 to hit. So 3s don't hit. So like 6, 3, double 3s. Decides the race is too much. And yeah, this looks like it plays well. So maybe that was a wise decision. If he can just enter on the 2 and have a chance to escape next roll. I think the secret, Justin, is to play 75 games in a night, and then eventually you'll get some of these hit and escape numbers. Okay, now Wells feels like he has enough threats to close this game. That's kind of interesting to me. I guess now that he's in, he can close that 8 and have Kazuki crack his prime or something, but I feel like the position before it looked more threatening to me. Ooh, that's a nasty entry number. Okay. Wow, and somehow Wells whiffs on the follow-up. Big swings in this game. Okay. Yeah, what do we do here? 6-2, clearing that outfield point and covering seems great. Hopping the prime seems great. So, I mean, I guess this must... Going for the win might be a little aggressive. Do you slot the back here? I guess you are pretty upset on a 6 no matter what. Hmm. And he chose not to, so this must be the game plan. But 6s are looking pretty good. He doesn't always get a double shot depending on which 6 gets thrown. 5-4 must come to the 12, right? Okay, he gets his double shot on a 6-1 now. Still might miss it. And could lose a gammon. I think you just advance. I mean, I'm not sure what the actual numbers are, but in these kind of... I don't think it tends to be as important exactly how many shot leaving numbers there are. It's just being kind of closer to home and not shuffling checkers around. And I mean, there's not like timing concerns on the other side, but it's kind of funky with like how fast they've been playing that. I guess once you're on the 4 cube, you get to think about it a little harder. But yeah, this is a move that I would tend to just play quickly and not worry too much about. All right. He's gonna have to leave the 1-6 from the bar. I guess he doesn't have to, of course, but that's a clever thought. Guess he's got a little bit of. Okay, close out. Yeah, what else are you hoping for? Some more cracking into Winnegammon, I think seems a little optimistic, but I think you're probably more likely to win a gammon just from whatever that is, the less than 5% of a single checker closed out. Swings in this game. I feel like the pace helps with the swings in a weird way, though, too. Once you can just kind of fly through a bunch of games and get on to the next one, they don't feel as brutal as watching someone take, like the usual 5 minutes to roll through all these crazy Joker sequences to get there. Okay, simple 4-cube win for Wells, it looks like, to cut into that lead a little bit. And it sounds like they're going to take another 10 to 15-minute break. Okay, and close down. Wow, so they're going to keep going tonight, too. Okay. Well, this is a long session. I might be heading to bed shortly here. I don't know if we have anyone to pick up commentary on the feed or not, but I'll find that out for you. And otherwise, it's been a fascinating session so far, 75 games deep, and it doesn't look like either of them's really wearing out. No one's slowing down or making giant oversights or anything like that. So awesome backgammon so far. Justin's going to get the PR numbers from that last set for us, but Yeah, it's been fun watching this and doing the commentary like always. Sounds like they're gonna keep chugging away at this. That's playing fast and awesome for 4.5 hours now. And still only a 6-point difference in results there with Kazuki having a small lead. That's think about what everyone would expect. No one to jump off to too big of a lead or anything like that. So, cool stuff. And I plan on being back tomorrow to do some more commentary, 9 p.m. my time. So I don't know how long they'll play tonight. I don't know how late they'll stay playing tomorrow either. But I'll be on here again. Looking forward to it. Thanks for checking this out. Later, everyone.